everyone, and welcome. I am so excited to be here today because I have a special person that I am going to interview, and you want to stick around because with me today is Dr. Neva. Hello. So nice to have you here today. Let me just tell the audience how accomplished you are. Dr. Neva is a internationally known speaker. She's an author. She wrote several books, and I hope you can tell the audience all about your books.
Definitely.
She's also a trainer and career development, and she has over a decade experience. And right?
Yes.
And today she's going to talk about all of this. Primarily with regards to her experience in Saudi Arabia, and I think that's fascinating. Yes. So if you are ready, Dr. Neva, if you are ready,
I'm definitely ready. I'm on board. Yes. Begin with the questions, please.
Yes. So the first question I think the audience wants to know, I know I want to know, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are thinking about it, is how did you become interested in working in Saudi Arabia?
Okay, so here's the story. And Saudi Arabia, I did not, I don't remember if I applied for a job in Saudi Arabia. I recalled it was the 26th of December 2009.
Oh, I was right. A decade ago. Yes, okay.
Exactly. So when you said a decade, I was like, wow, yeah. So 2009, I was actually shopping, returning back Christmas items, right? So that's how I remember the date, December 26th. And I got a call basically from someone from HR in Saudi Arabia for a job at a university, and I said, okay, this must be a prank call. And I pretended it was not me, and I said, okay, please leave, who are you? And, I basically just took a message for myself, saying that, I was the cousin answering the phone. And I was waiting for my friends to call back and say, haha, it's a prank. Because again, I don't recall applying for this job. I do recall that I put my resume out there, in different job postings and stuff like that, but not specifically Saudi Arabia.
Right.
So this was a Saturday, and the Tuesday I got a call back saying, oh, we left a message, and no one called, Dr. Neva didn't call back, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is real?
Yes.
So, so I decided to follow up. And at that time, I recall I was applying for jobs in the United States. I was working part-time as a part-time professor, and I was looking for a full-time position. And when this opportunity came, I said, you know what? You never know. Let's see where it leads. And that's pretty much how it came about.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yes, I think, in many people's minds, probably the last thing they want to move to for work is Saudi Arabia. So I think it's very interesting to have that insight from someone like yourself who has been there and lived there for quite a while.
But you know what? I'm a daredevil, I guess.
Yes.
For me, it's like, if this opportunity comes to me, I'm not just going to turn back.
Yeah.
You never know what lies ahead. So why not take this opportunity and seize it?
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm glad I did.
Oh, that's excellent. And I think this is a great point for the audience, which is this, don't be afraid, right? Embrace opportunities. Embrace challenges. In every challenge, there is a lesson.
Yes.
So I think that's great. I am interested to know about what it's like there. What's like living there and working there? I know you have experience in both, in an educational environment and corporate environment. So if you could please, tell us what's like working and living there.
Okay. So, when I first got there, and so the application process took some time, by the way. So I really didn't start the time until April 2010. And life there is a bit mixed. I found individuals, unfortunately, that were depressed. They got their expectations they weren't mentally prepared, I should say. You know, they didn't do their proper research. You know, Saudi Arabia, they're trying to open up, you know, now women can drive, but back then women weren't able to drive, you know.
Yeah.
So women weren't able to do certain things. But when I arrived, I basically tried to connect with individuals.
Sure.
You know, try to find what's going on, you know, what are some of the activities. And basically, I was able to connect with individuals, you know, put my name on this list. So there are entertainment.
Yes.
There's like Saudi's entertainment. Yes. On the ground, there are things happening. There are things happening. People, you know, at their homes, they open it up for their colleagues to come in and just have fun. So the environment there, you know, it's a mind, you know, setting. I remember individuals that basically couldn't take it, you know, the lifestyle there, and they left. Now, at the university setting, you are able to connect with more individuals.
Sure.
You're able to see how the students live. And the students, if they like you, they're very welcoming.
Right. Yes.
If they don't, ooh. That's all I got to say. Ooh. And the corporate setting, the mindset, of course, is a little bit different. And you're not able to connect with a lot of individuals. And I find the corporate setting, although I love the training aspect, sometimes it could be a little bit lonely. Because, you know, you go and you're only with someone maybe for a week, 2 weeks, and that's it.
Right.
Versus university is a semester. So you build a connection.
Yeah. You know, with regards to culture shock, right? So you were talking about people having unrealistic expectations, right? And as a result, they were disappointed.
Yes. Yeah.
And you said that happened because they were not prepared.
Yeah.
And we often hear that when we speak with people from different cultures, that they have had different experiences. That's because, you know, they travel, or when they meet other people, they are looking at the conversations they are having through their own experience, right? To their own culture. And of course, it's very different. So your advice to people who are thinking about traveling to Saudi Arabia, for example, is to...
Before you go, try to do your research.
Sure.
One of the things you should know about the Saudi, if you're super religious in another religion other than Islam, you might find some issues there.
Okay.
Because there are no churches.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that people do not congregate at their home and, you know, worship, but there are no churches. So if you expect that, you might, you know, disappoint yourself. If you're used to getting your alcohol, there are no...
Are you saying there's no alcohol?
Well,
no, I know. Yeah.
Legally, no. Legally, no. That's not a place to drink. It's they call haram.
Yes.
That's the word. It's forbidden in Saudi to drink. So if that's what your expectations are. So you may go to hang out and you may be looking for alcohol and you don't find it.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
So that's another. You might, with the expectation of, maybe you have children and you're expected to get them in school, and the system is totally different from what you're used to, whether you're in Europe or the United States, Canada.
How is the system different?
In
what ways?
Okay, so what I've heard, all right, because I don't have, any kids or children or whatever, but what I've heard, the system might not be that advanced. So, they want their child or their children to learn certain things, and that's not available to them, right? I remember I had a Christian student in one of my classes, and she's aware that she's not able to learn about Christianity, but it's a requirement that you have 1 year in some schools of Islamic studies, right?
Right.
So some parents will be like their child is forced to learn something. Now understand there are international schools. So that they're American schools or Canadian school, or European school, that the system might be a little bit different, but there's certain rules and guidelines that they need to follow. And then there's certain schools that they don't have, international teachers, or they might have international teachers, but not from the Western world.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
So those are some challenges in that.
Yeah. Definitely. I think one of the issues that probably many people are thinking about, and not only in Saudi Arabia, but really anywhere in the world, is safety, of course.
Yes.
Because we live in a world where it's unpredictable, and we need to be aware of our surroundings. And with regards to Saudi Arabia, I'm sure the audience would like to know about safety. So if you could please share something about that.
Okay. So one of the amazing things that happened to me, I literally once left my door, the back door open. And I remember I left the back door open when I was on a flight back to the United States.
So what back door? At
The
your
back
house?
door, yes. And I came back and everything was fine. No one entered, it was fine. And I say this to say that, I've never encountered anything that made me feel not safe, So, and I've lived in places where I pretty much had to be careful of my surroundings. In Brooklyn, I'm not painting Brooklyn as a bad, but, I've been okay, but in anything that you do, you still have to be, careful, because one of the things the Saudi at the time, again, things are changed a bit now, but still, you don't really find people walking on the street unless you're in a shopping area.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So people, you're not going to really find people just being out there shopping unless they're in a shopping area, or walking, I should say. You're not going to find people just walking on the road exercising unless they're in a designated area to do so.
Oh, yeah. Excellent. With regard to the books you have written, I think people would want to know what you have written, what's your specialty, so they can go ahead and look up your books and possibly contact you. Or
So thanks for mentioning it. Now, the best way I could describe myself is career development. So there are a few things that I do, but the best way, career development. And one of the books, the first book, was really birthed out of Saudi. Because I taught leadership to female students. And so I decided to write the book, Female's Guide to Understanding Leadership.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yes. So this is for Saudi females, but probably many of the...
It's general,
sure.
But the idea was just, I didn't realize how important it is that they should learn about leadership. Oh my gosh, So I decided to, do that at the time. Now understand, my career development is not restricted to just women. But yeah, that first book came out of that, me being in that region and seeing the...
And where would the people go to find your book?
Oh, yeah, definitely my website at drneva.com. So that's drneva.com. And that's where individuals can find me.
Yes, and most likely we'll have some links, right?
Definitely, on my social media and all that.
Of course, yes. We're going to let you know, so don't you worry if you need to reach out or if you need to take a pic into Dr. Neva's books. We will give you all the information. And I think last but not least, what advice would you have to people, let's say people who are listening now, or people who are going to watch this later and are thinking about a move, whether they want to move from the United States to Saudi Arabia or from another country in the world to Saudi Arabia, they're probably thinking about, but they're not sure. What would be your advice to those people?
My advice would be learn the culture. Learn the culture before you get there. Understand, and this is what I personally did not care for what people did. They thought they can put their culture on someone else's culture. My thing is respect the culture. Yeah?
Yes.
So if you realize it's not something that you can mentally deal with, stay out, because it's not going to be that easy for you.
Yes.
But I also believe that you should be very open-minded.
Yeah, of course.
You're international as well, right? And traveling, you're going into another culture. You need to be aware, as I say, once in Rome, do as Romans do.
Yes.
Yeah. So before you go, yes, do your research. See if this is the lifestyle. If you're used to being on the beach in the bikini, maybe that's not where you want to go. Maybe you want to go next door to Dubai or Bahrain, stuff like that.
Do that.
But just learn the culture and have an open mind and be respectful of others.
I think that's wonderful, and I should say that in my sociology classes, we teach a great deal about culture, and I emphasize that, if we understand the culture, because we are our culture, right? Our beliefs, our habits, our rituals, they do come from our own culture. So if we want to get along with other people, or at least understand them, we have to understand their culture. So I would definitely agree with that. Well, in closing, maybe if you want to tell us about your services, about the things that you can do to help people, and who the people are, anything about that, and how people can find you.
Yeah, sure. So as I mentioned before, the website, drneva.com. I'm also on Instagram, and the information will be listed below. But pretty much, as mentioned, the career development, helping individuals walk into their path, whether it's, the high school students deciding on what universities or whatever they want to do, which path they should take. You're currently working and you're looking for a job, or you want to work internationally. What are some of the steps that you need to take? Or maybe you want to start your own business. What are the routes to do that, to prepare yourself to do so? So in a nutshell, that's what I do. And of course, I do speaking engagements, going out there and speak internationally as well as here in the United States, doing training, corporate training, and also, my books also readily available on the website, and giving advice. Yeah, that's me.
Yes. I think that's excellent, and I should tell you, as an international person myself, an educator and student, right? I came here, I studied here. I can tell you that you do need help with regards to studying in the United States or working in the United States.
Yes.
How to get into school, Dr. Neva will help you with not only how to get into an American school, but also how to become successful, so you can finish up your degree fast, so you can get out there in the real world and make some money.
Yes,
right?
Definitely, because everyone wants to make money.
Everyone wants to make money, and how you get that career, Dr. Neva can also help you design a path, a career path, so you don't have to worry about that. She's definitely the person to reach out to.
Yes.
Well, I want to thank you so much. It's been a pleasure interviewing you, and I hope we can do this again.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.